So you said there's 4 personalities in everybody's brain. What are those 4 personalities?
As we're looking at the brain, just from an anatomical perspective, the way evolution happens for the mammalian brain is that there are creatures who have a spinal cord, and they have, and there are creatures like that, like worms, and then a little brain, a little medulla will form at the top of that tissue, and then now that brain controls and streamlines information processing to the rest of the system. And then we add a pons.
What's that?
It's just a structure of cells. So this is the medulla.
Yeah.
We would have spinal cord there, and this is the pons. We call that the pons. It's a group of cells.
Brain.
Yeah, it's a smaller brain. And in relationship to that pons is this cerebellum. And the cerebellum has this gorgeous cell in it called the Purkinje cell. And they're like a hand. They're like, two-dimensional. And they all line up like this. And then fibers run through those. And it's part of the mechanism of timing so that you have fluidity of movement because of the way those cells are aligned. So not all cells are created equal, and not all cells look alike. Cells have the right shape for the right job. So as then we grow, and now we have the mammalian brain, we're going to have the hippocampus, you've heard of that, for learning and memory, the amygdala, you've heard that, for am I safe?
Am I safe?
Are you safe?
Oh,
the amygdala,
okay.
yeah, there's a group of cells right there that is scanning constantly. Am I safe? Am I safe? Am I safe? And you're fine until you're not safe.
Okay, so like threat detection.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
You have 2 emotional systems, one in your left hemisphere and one in your right hemisphere. And the right hemisphere is going to be right here, right now. Am I safe in the right here, right now? So let's say all of a sudden a snake went by, and we would jump, we would startle, because it's your right amygdala saying, oh my gosh, am I safe? And then the left hemisphere is going, oh my gosh, it's a snake, no, I'm not safe. Push it away. And when we're calm, that's when the hippocampi, because we have 2 amygdala, 1 in each hemisphere, 2 hippocampi, 1 in each hemisphere. And when the amygdala are calm and you feel safe, now you can learn and focus with the anterior, with the cingulate gyrus, and learn new things. So these groups of cells. Now, if you wipe out an amygdala, you're not going to feel any fear. You wipe out a language center, you're not going to have any language. You wipe out motor skills to your index finger, and you're paralyzed. So every ability you have is because we have these brain cells that perform that function. So for the 4 parts of us, so we have an emotional system in each hemisphere. The emotional system of the right hemisphere, this is a right here, right now machine. Right here, right now. That's all it has. Doesn't have the past, doesn't have the future, doesn't know who you are.
Doesn't have anxiety, depression.
Well, it has anxiety, but most of that is going to be based in the left hemisphere, because this machine, the left hemisphere, has linearity across time. So this emotional system is remembering every traumatic event that ever happened to you that you don't want to have happen again.
Is that where trauma lives in the brain?
Trauma's living in there, as is addiction. Addiction, there's a group of cells in here called the insular cortex, and that's where craving is, and that's a part of the limbic system of the left hemisphere. And if you wipe out craving, do you still have an addiction? So this is, let me just keep going. So we have these 2 emotional systems, and then we have these 2 thinking systems. And the thinking system is what distinguishes us as humans from all other mammals. Okay, so our mammals, our dogs love us. There ain't any question about that. Our dogs can punish us when we're not very, we don't show up and we've sent them to doggy care if they're not happy about that. So mammals have other forms, but we have this higher executive functioning. And in the right hemisphere, it's right here, right now. And in the left hemisphere, it's all about me. Because in there, in that thinking, is my ego center, in that prefrontal region. I, me, I exist. Back here, orientation association area, I begin and I end here. This is the package of me, the individual. I have a language. I can create language. I can understand language. I can read. I can write. I have mathematics in there. And this motor system controls the opposite side of my body. So that's a personality.
So what are to summarize them, what are the 4 types?
Okay. So when I look at a brain, and this is totally randomly named, and I did that because I had to communicate about it somewhere. So I call left thinking character 1. And I actually give that part of my brain a name. I call her Helen. Hell on wheels, she gets it done. You're talking to Helen right now. She's giving you facts and details. She is all about what is right and wrong and good and bad. How do I fit myself into a society? How do I use my words in order to communicate? So this is the part of us that goes to work. It's our A-type personality. Character 1, left, thinking.
And that's on this side here.
Yeah. Well, it's this outer layer of cells is called the cerebral cortex. And the cerebral cortex is actually in human made up of mostly 6 layers of cells. It's very complex. In some areas, especially where you have sensory systems, it's just going to be 4 layers. But this is a complex portion of the organ that separates us from other animals.
What about character 2?
So character 2 is going to be the left emotion. Now, the difference between the things you can say predictably about the left hemisphere is it has linearity across time and it has me, the individual. And my emotional system then has my past pain and it wants, and it's kind of always looking for a reason to knee-jerk react and have emotional reactivity. So many people are trying to fix or heal or get rid of their emotional reactivity when this is a portion of our brain which is running constantly in the background to protect us in the present moment when new information comes in. So we want to work with that and we want to appreciate it and we want to love on it and we want to be kind to it because it's generally not very happy because it is storing all of our pain from the past.
And what do you call that?
Character 2. I call mine Abby. We could spend a whole semester talking about character 2 because character 2 is our pain from the past. And in our society, everything's about our pain from the past and our professional self. Character 3 is going to be the emotional content of the right hemisphere. Well, this is right here, right now. What am I experiencing emotionally? Experiential. This is where, what's the temperature of the air? What does it feel like to have clothing on? What does that feel like on your body?
When you meditate, they ask you to become aware of your environment, right?
And focus on your breath. Exactly. Because they want you to expand yourself, one, out of the thinking consciousness and right and wrong and good and bad structure, the box that we think in of the left thinking. And they want you to stop, thinking about your girlfriend and boy, we didn't really end it very well. Or boy, I had a great morning this morning. Okay. So this is playful. So character 3, it's young. We have 2 little people inside of ourselves, and that's the emotional. They're immature. We are feeling creatures. As biological creatures, we are feeling creatures who think. So a lot of character 3s, actually, we have character 3 moments that land us in jail because it's not thinking about consequences of behavior. It's just thinking, oh yeah, the neighbor's pool. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. They won't notice. Let's go jump in their pool. And then the next thing we know, we've been arrested. So then character 4 is the thinking portion of our brain. This is our wisdom. We go and we have experiences and we learn. Because neuroplasticity is real and we have to have neuroplasticity. And this is all about the cells, neurons in real time, reaching out, making new connections constantly, but their cell bodies are in position. But in order for me to make an association between you and something else, then I actually grow to you and I grow to the something else. And then I learn about that. So our capacity to learn is what is the underlying feature is neuroplasticity. I would not be sitting here talking to you today if neuroplasticity didn't turn on fire when I needed it for 8 years. And it took 8 years for me to use what I had in this brain to rebuild the skill sets of this brain. But the thinking portion, the character 4 portion of our brain, is the wisdom that we gain from the knowledge that we have had and we have associated it and we can relate to it. And this part, all it cares about is that emotion that I felt that morning, which was awe that I'm alive at all. And when we can connect to that, people, it's $1 billion industry of meditation to quiet what's going on in the left hemisphere so that we can open up the possibility to what's going on in the right hemisphere. And it's our peace. We are wired at the core of our being, of our right thinking tissue to feel peace. And we do not exist in a world that is peaceful. So if we are functioning on an extreme left brain, left thinking, and we are emotionally volatile when people insult us, and we're all about the me, and we have forgotten about the we, look at the world we currently live in. And right now, we are so skewed to me, the individual, and I want more, and I'm against you because you're not a part of my tribe. And we balance that by knowing that I'm alive. It is this incredibly precious gift. The odds that I had to beat just to be here. Have you ever stopped to think about the odds you had to beat just to be here? Think about this. Now, first of all, think about this. The little egg cell that would evolve into you eventually, it took form. It's about the size of it's an egg cell. It's tiny. But it took form during your mother's 5th week of gestation. So your mother, your grandmother's pregnant, right? And that little egg cell that would be your mother has now made it into the womb. And during the 5th week of being there, the little egg cell that would grow into you took form. It differentiated into the ovum. And so you, the little egg cell, witnessed the next 8 months of your mother's gestation, your mother's birth, your mother's screaming, your mother's toddler years, your mother's learning to sing and laugh and play and learn geography and mathematics, all the way through her puberty. And then, so she's born with some 400,000 egg cells in her 2 ovaries. And out of those 400,000 egg cells, approximately 500 of those egg cells are going to be the next follicular eruption, month by month by month with her period. And your little egg cell, imagine you're hanging out in your little ovarian follicle and it's your turn and you're getting all prepped by the hormones of the body and you're going, oh my God, it's my ride, right? And you're this little egg cell. And then the hormones swoop by your little egg cell and it beams you out and the fimbriae of the fallopian tubes gather you up and you begin your promenade, your fallopian promenade on the road to your mother's sacred womb. And in that moment, your father was there for you, and you were one of the lucky ones, and you beat the odds of all those egg cells. You beat the odds. And how can that not be something that we celebrate the wonder of? The odds you had to beat just to be here. And then for the next 9 months, that little egg cell is going to multiply its DNA, repackage that DNA. 1 cell becomes 2, becomes 4, becomes 8, becomes 16, becomes 50 trillion cells over the course of 9 months. And you're multiplying egg cells at a rate of 250,000 new cells per second. Per second, not per minute, per second. You're this explosion, and literally the energy of the universe is what is fueling all of this from happening. You are nothing other than mass and energy working together. And then there's you. And it's like, how on earth can I have mental health problems and not acknowledge and have awe for what we are? Oh my gosh. And that was the gift that stroke gave to my life. And you can see I get a little excited about it.
A little, yeah.
We are so beautiful. We are so beautiful. We are perfect and whole and beautiful just the way we are. And it's like, if we would become balanced as a society, I truly believe with every essence of my being that our number one job is to love one another. When we love one another and we support one another and we encourage one another, we all grow and we will benefit as humanity. And when that happens, we will really recognize we have fragile resources on this planet and we need to nurture the planet as a part of us because we have a symbiotic relationship with this planet. Chokes me up.
Why?
Because it's, lots of conversations about, are we going to make it or are we not going to make it? What is the future of humanity? Where do we go? What happens? We live in a threat every day of our existence being completely blown apart. Okay.
What are these?
I would like for you to put those on.
Okay.
Now. Okay, and I just want you to sit in that for 30 seconds, 20 seconds. Actually, it's a pretty good look on you there.
It's like Men in Black.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, now I would like for you to pull your right one, do you see how it's got a little edge? Yeah. Yeah, flip it up. It'll flip up. Yeah, and flip it all the way up. Now, what you're doing right now is you are bringing light in from the lateral portion of your visual field.
What does that mean?
Of that eye. So close one eye and open, leave one eye open. Okay,
Yeah.
That's a ball. Okay, down the middle is an artificial line.
Yeah.
The outside portion, that is called lateral. And the inside side is called medial.
Okay.
And so the lateral light is now coming in, and that hits the medial side of your retina.
Okay.
And the retina is the back of the eyeball.
Okay, so the light's coming in from the outside of my eye, and it's
Yes.
hitting the inside of my eye.
It's hitting it's coming out from the outside of your visual field. It's hitting the medial internal side of your retina, and then those fibers are boom crossing over to the opposite hemisphere.
Okay, I'll put a diagram on the screen for anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now you are purposely stimulating your left hemisphere. So I wanted to how do you feel inside of your body? Just describe a few things to me. How do you feel? Feeling analytical about anything? Thinking about anything?
My back has got a little bit of a pain in it. But otherwise, just very focused on doing this job as the host of the Diary of a CEO.
Beautiful. Just focus, which is what that left hemisphere should do. So go ahead and flip that down.
Okay.
Yeah. And then just stay for 20 seconds and let everything kind of equilibrate to whatever the darkness is that's in there.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Go ahead then and pull up the other side. It's a good look. It's like a little flag right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. How do you feel?
Weirdly, I felt more relaxed.
Now or before?
No, now I feel more relaxed.
Your whole body just went calm.
Yeah.
What else? Tell me something more. Any aches or pains in your body?
I just feel way more relaxed. I feel like I'm laying on a sun lounger.
Yeah. That's what the right brain feels like. So you're bringing left information in from the light of the lateral side of your visual field. It's hitting the medial portion of your retina and crossing into your right hemisphere. So what you're doing right now is you're sending light energy, photons, into the right hemisphere, and it is pushing through. And now this is an easy way for people to control and choose how they want to be between their two hemispheres and really get to know,
how do I know this isn't just a placebo? Because I said I do feel way more relaxed. I can't be bothered to carry on this interview.
But if you look at the anatomy, this is where light is coming in on the, you can't really see it on here, but that's going to be information from your eyeballs, which would be sitting right here, right there. Mm-hmm. This is fibers. You're wired for this. This is how you are wired. That's why everything about you, this isn't about a placebo having a behavioral impact. This is about the anatomy of the brain.
Have they tested this in trials to see?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, they just did a brand new one at Harvard and showed it on fMRI. Yeah. And
have they done a double-blind control trial where they put these glasses on and then ask people how they feel?
Well, even more than that, they're manipulating the light source in different kinds of ways. I'm not involved with that work, but I know that Marty Teicher at Harvard as well as Frederick Schiffer. Now, Frederick Schiffer is a psychiatrist who has been doing psychiatry at Harvard Medical School for his whole career. And he would use these types of glasses with his psychiatric patients and would show the patient that there is a part of them that is less well and one side that is more ill. And so he would use the relationship between these two different characters, these two different personalities, to find more peace and healing.
I feel it's weird. I just lifted up the right side again and put the left side down. And I immediately felt, well, not immediately, but it took a little while, it took 20 seconds. I felt focused again. Mm-hmm. Is that just placebo? Am I making?
No, that's what you're wired. That's why you can feel focused because of the cells that you are now stimulating. In the other hemisphere, it's not about focus. It doesn't care about focus. It cares about the big picture and your relationship to the big picture. So it's not like the brain is just this soup of cells. These cells are very specifically organized. Every ability you have is because you have brain cells that perform that function. And all you're doing right now is preferentially stimulating certain cells. It's kind of like, okay, I'm going to open my eyes and I'm going to experience vision. Well, that's not a placebo.
If I want to be able to actively switch between these different parts, these 4 personalities in my brain, so I can be most effective in a given situation.
Yeah.
Is there a practice where
Yes.
I can control my brain in that way?
Absolutely. In your life, this is a practice. You don't just learn it and then go do it. This is a practice. You got to say to yourself, first step number 1, recognize in this moment, am I using my left thinking judgment, listening to this conversation, and what is my judgment? Is my judgment, yes, this makes sense, this is interesting, I want more? Or is this, oh, this is just crap, I just can't go there, I got to turn it off? Or, okay, I'll give you an example. Once you know who your 4 characters are, once you have really thought about them, studied about them, paid attention to when they come out in you, what they feel like inside of your body, I can jump between all 4 in an instant because I know them so well.
But is there a practice? You have to say,
So this is
Becky,
what
come
I do.
in.
So this is what I do. Well, once you know the 4 of them, and the only way to know them is to practice with them, get to know them. When do you get really unhappy? Who unhappies you? When do you want to growl at people?
I won't name her name.
And don't name a name, but see, you went straight into that character 2 part of you. That's the only part of you that holds grudges. Your right thinking doesn't care about that. It doesn't even know about that because that's in the past. So here's the key. Step number 1. Observe yourself. When am I being a character 1? When am I at work? When am I speaking and organizing and making a to-do list? And when do I like to be the boss? And when do I like to control people, places, things, and time? And all of that. When am I doing that? Well, you know that part of yourself very well. He's probably called Stephen. The part of you that is not very happy? Your parents probably know this part of you. Your girlfriend definitely knows this part of you. Right?
Yes.
Okay. When are you playful? What does it feel like? It feels completely different than when you're at work or when you're not happy. When are you at play? And if you're not at play much, then you might want to give yourself a little bit more play. So I was working with a group of physicians because physicians are very busy people. And right now, the physician is a very high level of suicide. So I care passionately about this population because they're not finding any peace. Because society expects them to be left thinking all the time. They're supposed to be the authority and they can't have any mental health issues because they're the ones we go to for mental health issues. So all they can do, they don't have time. They are busy, and they're not very happy about it. And our system is a mess. So they're having to deal with that. So I was working with a group and I said, okay, I want you to take a chalk outside of the ER room and I want you to draw a hopscotch. And what happened was all these doctors in and out and these medical professionals were hopscotching in and hopscotching out. And that helped them bring their glee back just for a moment, just for an instant. So this is the glee and it's exciting and it's fun and it's like figure out what brings you joy and do that. And know, and this is why it really helps to know this, because if you're going to say, okay, I'm going to go play basketball. I come from Indiana. Everybody plays basketball. I'm going to go play basketball and I'm going to go do it for 20 minutes. And my character 1 is over here saying, we don't have time for you to go shoot some hoops, girl. We got business to take care of. We're on a deadline. And little character 3 comes in and says, I will refresh you. I will be your pause. I will refuel your spirit. I take the stress away from that subject. I release, I have all kinds of endorphins and excitement stuff going on. And then I go back and I do such a more creative and open job because I made space instead of just the drive, do, linear. The beauty of being a human is you have all 4 parts of this brain. This is our design, but we are functioning with only one online as conscious. Imagine if you could say, In this instant, I want to feel as though, whatever your spiritual beliefs or your beliefs about a higher power, whatever, just call it the universe, because we know there's a bunch of rocks spinning around in space and we're on one of them, hanging on for life, just being human, right? So that's all happening. So, oh my gosh, I can say thank you to all those rocks for being in the positions they're in so that we're still here. And I can feel this deep sense of gratitude. And as soon as I feel that gratitude and that, oh my God, I exist at all and it could be over like that, and then it's over. But right now it's a party. Life can be play.
Did I ever tell you about the data breach that we had at my previous company?
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Which was a total nightmare. So I'm glad that we now use 1Password.
What actually is it, Steve?
It's called 1Password, and they're the sponsor of the podcast now. And they have this feature called Enterprise Password Manager, which means that if any of our passwords across the team are compromised or leaked, then it notifies us. And obviously, if that were to be the case, we're at huge risk across the entire team. Through 1Password EPM, you can also store all of your sensitive information. And it's helping us to move closer towards passkeys, which means eventually everybody will be able to log in to pretty much everything without ever having to put a password in.
Sounds like a good addition.
Yeah, I think it's like the single most impactful security addition you can make to your team, especially if your team has tons of passwords that are all like hidden in Excel files and stuff. To my listeners, if you want to secure your business, head to onepassword.com/DOAC. 1Password is a game changer. It's the future that I always wished would be the case as someone that has, 20, 30 different passwords for 20, 30 different applications. In my second book, The Diary of a CEO, 33 Laws of Business and Life, one of the laws I talk about is always prioritizing your first foundation. And by that, I mean your health. After speaking to hundreds of scientists and doctors and thinkers, I'm convinced we can all change the trajectory of our long-term health through the daily actions that we take. So for me, partnering with our new sponsor, Function Health, made complete sense. Their membership includes over 100 advanced lab tests covering hormones, toxins, inflammation, heart health, stress, and more. And when you sign up, you schedule your tests, complete them, then you're sent a personalized summary with insights backed by doctors and thousands of hours of research. And if anything critical shows up, you'll get a call from a doctor. These are the insights most people never get, but you can get them now. So if you want to learn more, head to functionhealth.com/DOAC, where you can sign up right now. And for the first 1,000 of my listeners, you can get $100 credit towards your membership when you use the code DOAC100, but do not tell anybody. That's DOAC100. How long do you think emotions are supposed to last?
90 seconds. From the moment you think a thought, we're only doing 3 things inside of our brain at any moment in time. We think thoughts, we feel emotions, and we run physiological loops to what we're thinking and feeling. So let's say I'm going to think a thought like you did. I said, think of somebody you're not happy with. And you went and you thought about it, and then you felt it, and we could see it in your body. So you thought the thought, oh, that's the person, I'm mad at them. And then it's like, oh, I'm really mad at them. You could see, you feel, I'm really mad at them. And then you either act on it or you don't act on it. But if you simply observe it, it will loop right through, just like a muscle reflex. It's a emotional reflex, less than 90 seconds, which means, and everybody's saying, oh, I can stay mad for a whole lot longer than 90 seconds. But what you're doing then is you're rethinking the thoughts that's re-stimulating the emotional loop, re-stimulating the physiological response. And it just goes on forever.
When you feel that emotion, is there a strategy for making sure that you don't act upon it or you don't re-loop?
Well, I enjoy it.
You enjoy the emotion?
I enjoy it.
Even if you're angry?
Even if I'm angry. Thank God I'm capable. I am wired to be mad. I am wired to be angry. I'm wired to push things away and say, that is not okay. I get big. I get ugly. I make myself heard because that's a healthy boundary I'm going to establish. So I celebrate the fact that I'm capable of anger. I love that I can be sad. I'm glad that I can grieve. Oh my God. Grief is this powerful emotion that can consume us, totally envelop us, take us to our knees. And it's like I have a friend right now who's about ready to pass away. Beautiful, beautiful person. She's been great, wonderful friend in my life. I love her, and I will celebrate every time the wave of emotion hits me because that's how much I loved her. That's how much I loved her. I celebrate that I'm capable of being taken to the floor in that kind of pain and just weep my whole soul. I mean, I'm wired for this. This is life. Why do I want to just put myself in a little box and say, I don't want to have grief. I don't want to have pain. I don't want to be mad. I don't want to do this. I want to be a robot. I don't want to be a robot. I want to be a whole human with a whole brain. I want all of it. It's delicious. Oh my gosh. And it lasts this long and then it's gone. Thank you. And I'm guessing your headache feels a little better.
Why did you say thank you?
Because it's so rare that people will really connect with another human being for anything more than like 3 seconds, and then I'm uncomfortable and I can't do that anymore. But we're here to love one another. You're the gift of my life. People on this planet are the gift of my life. We are the gift of your life. And if we are constantly judging each other negatively and pushing each other away and killing each other, we are violent against each other. And it's like, oh my gosh, we are so off track of what we could be as whole brain living. I truly believe the next step for our evolution is waking up the whole brain. And if we wake up our whole brain, the game is changed. And that becomes no. It's not okay for us to create war. It is not okay for us to create hate. It is not okay for us to make that division anymore. That is not what we respect, and that is not what we want as humanity. We want to be whole. We want to be the next level. We want to feel safe with each other.
Are you hopeful?
Oh, completely, 100%. That doesn't mean we couldn't be gone in an instant, but absolutely. That's the beauty of the right hemisphere, is it is hope. It's possibility. And that's why when you talk to me about AI, yes, I think a lot about AI. AI is, wow. I listen to your podcast. There's a whole lot of wow, and I don't have that. And this is why.
What was that sound, sorry?
It's hard. It's hard. You've had some really difficult conversations about, the reality of the potential dangers. But here's why that doesn't bother me. Because I have a whole brain. And my whole brain says, yes, that is that. And that is going on. And that is scary. And I think about it through the perspective of a neuroanatomist. So I see the internet as like this higher level of consciousness that we're feeding ourselves into and everybody's plugged in. And now we're creating robots and consciousnesses that will think independent of us. So we're essentially creating an other that we cannot control. Well, I can't control who's got those nuclear codes. So from my perspective, I'm just glad I wake up every day and it's like, oh, I get another great day. And it's like, whoo, possibilities. So
have you always been like this?
No, this really came with a stroke. This so much came with a stroke because I lost all of the box. I lost the box.
The box. The
box of thinking. This is right. This is wrong. This is the way we're going to do it. I value money. I was climbing the Harvard ladder. I was a little girl from Indiana. I was climbing the Harvard ladder. I mean, that was a pretty big deal to a little girl and her family. And so I was climbing the Harvard ladder and then bam, that was all gone. And when that was all gone, what I gained was connection, heart, time, possibility. My business perspective has shifted in that I don't reach out to people. I don't solicit. I don't hustle. I don't need to. Because if I'm working, great. I love to work. I love my work. It's yummy. I mean, it's like, how can I not? But I love to paddleboard. I live half of a life, half my time on a boat out in a beautiful cove, pretty much in isolation with the bear and the deer and the fish and the bobcat. I live in nature. I live the life I want to live, and then I get off the boat and I come and visit people. And we talk. Or I go and I do whatever it is I'm doing.
Had you not had the stroke, how different do you think your life would look?
Oh, I'd be probably a professor of neuroanatomy at Harvard Medical School, teaching and performing research, doing that thing. That was my dream.
Do you think you'd be happier or less happy?
Oh, no, I'm so glad I had that stroke. I am so glad I had the stroke. It set me free. It set me free. Having the stroke set me free from having to live a life based on other people's expectations about what my life should be.
Because it changed something in your brain?
Because that went totally offline and it wasn't going to be a choice anymore.
Is it still offline?
No.
So it went offline, which allowed you to focus on other things.
Think about the brain, think about your consciousness, and think about you have 4 parts of you. And all 4 parts are always running. And they're kind of vying for the microphone. Who's going to talk in this moment, right? Who's going to think what? Who's going to perform what? Who's going to do what? So we have these whole brains. And then imagine that you lose your business sense. You lose that guy.
Character 1.
Character 1 falls off the planet.
Which is the factual part, the working part. So that would leave me with just the sort of emotional part and the present part and the wisdom.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, do you miss it? Well, it's gone. Your ego has pretty much dissolved because that's a part of it. So, but you might be angry. You might be angry because I was doing so well and I was living a life and I liked those facts and I wanted to do more business and I wanted to do more businesses and and you are that guy. I mean, you are so diverse in your business. You are so good at being character 1. But let's say he goes offline. What do you have left? So my character went offline. Would you still value? Would you have value? What value would you have if you weren't him? Tell me.
I think my girlfriend would appreciate me still. My dog would probably appreciate me.
Maybe more because you probably spent a little more time with it.
Yeah, probably, yeah. My girlfriend would definitely appreciate me more.
Because you'd have time. You wouldn't be running that wheel. You'd be a different part of you. And then if you can master and help heal your pain from the past or your disgruntled self that, well, I had this problem and now I can't use my left arm. And so I'm going to be a miserable human being the rest of my life because my left arm doesn't work anymore.
So how do we do that? How do we heal our trauma from the past from a neurological perspective?
Well, I think what we do is we recognize, first of all, the question, everybody wants to heal it. So the way to heal it is not to get rid of it. I cannot get rid of my trauma from the past. My pain from the past is real, and it is mine, and it is expansive, and it is mine, and everybody has their pain from the past, their trauma. We all have trauma. So what do I do with that trauma? Do I let that trauma just fester in that character 2 part of my brain? And then I just look at everyone else who's not like me now and say, well, you didn't have any trauma. You're better off than I am. No. I start making a negative, hostile judgment about, well, this is my trauma and I want to protect it. The purpose of trauma is to say to you, you're a biological creature. You're in the present moment. You're a real human being. You have a life. My life, part of my life is my trauma. And I will bounce from trauma to trauma to trauma to trauma. And if I look at the trauma and say, this is a horrible thing, well, maybe it was a horrible thing. And maybe that was 30 years ago and that was a horrible thing. And the more you think about it and you root into it, and the more often we run a circuit, the more that circuit stronger that gets and begins to run on automatic. And so now I'm always worrying about, oh my God, am I going to have more trauma? And I put all my energy into that trauma. Well, what am I doing? It's just the same as if I'm just a workaholic and doing nothing but character 1. And so the power of whole brain living is to know that I have 4 parts of me, and that trauma is important information. And let's say I was attacked or I was raped or I had a horrible experience with a person. And now in the future, whenever I see a person that looks remotely like that, I knee jerk away from that because I perceive myself from my trauma that that's not safe. So I push it away. That is an appropriate response. But then I say, oh, but this is actually a different person. And I can open up my right hemisphere and with curiosity look at this new person and say, well, you might look like somebody who hurt me many years ago, but you're not that person. Who are you? And make a connection in the present. So the trauma is supposed to be information. We get in trouble when we turn it into a lifestyle. So how do I heal that? I acknowledge it. I value it. I say thank you to it. I acknowledge its purpose, and I pull my energy into the other parts of my brain. My character 4, Queen Toad, can come in and self-soothe me and hold me.
And what would character 4 say to the trauma?
You're loved. You're okay. Thank you. Thank you for this information. Thank you. And hold it. Well, trauma needs to be heard. Needs to be held and it needs to be heard. And then it can like transform itself into the next level of, oh, okay, I'm okay even though I had that trauma. Even though I had this stroke that all but killed me, I'm not resentful. Why would I be resentful? It's my life. This happened to be the life story of me. We all have a life story. So the question is, how much energy am I going to put into that and hold myself back when I have all these other incredible possibilities? And if I was hurt or I was raped, then I can actually, if I want to take that anger because I am madder than hell about it, then I can advocate for other people to help women get self-defense courses so that we can actually protect ourselves. I mean, I can turn it into something else. I can make lemonade out of lemons. We all can. We're wired for that.
You've talked a lot about how you think about the brain from a cellular perspective and how we keep it healthy from a cellular perspective. So I wanted to get some of your advice on lifestyle choices that I should be making to have an optimally healthy brain at the cellular level.
Number 1, sleep. Sleep is everything. Sleep, sleep, sleep. These are billions, 800 billion cells that are eating and creating waste for you to have a consciousness in every instant. Imagine the number of cells it takes for you to just look at me and have a relationship in this moment with me. I mean, your brain is working hard. So it's eating, it's creating waste. Go to sleep. Sleep should be a priority. And if you sleep, then the microglia can come out and then all the garbage and waste can get cleaned up. The waste gets pushed away and you wake up crisp and fresh the next day because your brain cells have been taken care of. What are you feeding them? If you are feeding them preservatives, you are preserving them. Oh my gosh, pay attention to what you're consuming. Fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. Try to do it if, I know we exist in a world where not everybody can eat organic, but boy, pesticides are poison. So paying attention to what we are consuming. How much sugar are we eating? Sugar is just not a healthy choice. No matter what. Now, I love chocolate and I'm going to eat chocolate. It's my, vice. I'm going to do it anyway. Dark chocolate. It's a bean. It's a vegetable. Somebody said that to me once and I believed him. Okay, so what are you eating? Movement. You have to move your body. You are an organism. So many of us think that, especially if we're in that character 1 left thinking brain, my body is designed to move my brain around. No, you are an organism. So finding ways to get yourself into the different characters is great for you. If you can't get into your body, name for me a song, if you would, that as soon as you start in on it, your body goes. What gets your beat going? Give me one.
Why did I think of Gigs Walking the Hardest?
And do it.
No, I can't do it.
Yes, you can do it.
I was thinking of, because it was playing outside before we started recording, I was thinking of Olivia Dean's new song, Man I Need, but I can't sit here and sing Man I Need and then do the little
Well, then don't sing it. Just get, so
thing
so
she
for
does.
me.
She's like, I gotta make it do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was forced. Now, can you do it like you mean it? We ought to put the glasses back on you and see what happens. Okay, for me, I'm disco era. Bump, 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 I want some hot stuff, baby. I cannot not do this. I become my body, all of me. It's like dance like nobody's watching. That's what character 3 is all about.
So why is that important for a healthy brain at a cellular
Oh
level?
my gosh, it's the break. It's the pause. It's the fun. It's the joy. It's the present moment connection. What is my life going to be like if I don't have any of those things I just listed?
So exercise, quality sleep, nutrition,
Hydration.
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 Why is that so
Oh
important?
my God. Your body is nothing but cells connected to one another. And cells are filled with water, and the space between them is filled with water, and it's a delicate balance of what atoms and molecules are inside the cells versus outside the cells, but you're just a big liquid ball.
Excuse me.
Yes, you are. I said it and I meant it. That's what you are. You are a fleshy ball of you. That's it. Water. You need to be hydrated. Now, you can't overhydrate. If we overhydrate, then we're distilling what's going on in those populations in the cell or extracellular matrix. So you don't just, drink your weight in water every day, but you have to stay hydrated.
What about learning? Is it good for the brain or a cellular level?
Yes. Yeah, it's wonderful. When I learn, let's say I'm going to learn to do a sport.
Yeah.
So, and let's say that sport's going to be tennis.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go to my character 1, and character 1 is going to say, okay, this is how you hold the racket, and this is how you hold your body, and this is how you're going to swing that, and try that. And so left hemisphere comes in and gives you the plan, and it gives you the details, and you do that. And then at some point, you've done it enough that now you're just going to start whacking a ball, right? Whacking a ball. And you're going to practice it over and over again. And then it gets like really fun. And then it's back in your body. And now we're back to girls just want to have fun. We're back into character 3.
Well, we know alcohol's bad.
Well, you're drunk because your cells are drunk. Just think about it. If I'm going to consume alcohol, it's going to suck the water out of those cells. They're going to be dehydrated, and I'm going to end up with a headache. And when they get fragile, because the membrane has been drunk, abused, eventually they tend to crenate and blow up, and that's the end of those cells. So alcohol's not good. Addiction is, we exist in a society, and I think that this is important. We exist in a society where the left hemisphere, especially character 2, where our cravings and addictions are, is if I'm not happy because I'm not living a fulfilled life because I'm on YouTube or I'm watching social media and all these people are getting all these clicks and I'm not getting all these clicks and I'm not living this lavish life that these other people are living, then I'm down on me and I'm just like not very happy. I'm going to make poor choices because that is what that part of us is designed to do. So I say take responsibility for the energy you bring into a room. And if you pay attention to who walks in and what part of you walks in and you come in as a whole person, now I am completely available to master the moment, whatever the moment is.
Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor. If you had a closing message for my audience, something that maybe a subject we've missed, or something that you think is the most important thing to close upon, what would it be?
Your life is worth 30 seconds. If you're in your car and you're getting ready to pull out between those two cars that are coming, your life is worth 30 seconds. Take a breath, take a pause, and save your own life. It has changed my life. As soon as somebody said to me, Jill, isn't your life worth 30 seconds? And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, actually it is.
And what does that mean? It means just relax.
It means I'm not going to try to squeeze myself into boxes where I maybe don't fit or belong. I'm going to pause. Physically, I'm talking about physical. So seriously, if you're driving,
okay, so you're saying slow down.
Slow down. 30 seconds. Your life is worth 30 seconds. Be conscious about it.
Thank you. Very fascinating, incredibly fascinating. You have a remarkable energy and you have a wonderful way of reminding me of transitioning me from the working factual part of my brain to being more present in the moment. And I imagine you've done that for everybody that's listened today. There's a real pureness to you that I wonder if many of us might have just lost along the way somehow. So thank you so much for being who you are, and your journeys are unbelievably incredible, unbelievably inspiring. And the fact that you've been so centered on gratitude and an appreciation for life despite all that you've been through is a remarkable thing. We have a closing tradition on this podcast where the last guest leaves a question for the next, not knowing who it's for. And the question left for you is, what do you do when your life doesn't turn out the way that you had hoped?
I thank the universe that option wasn't for me. Next. So easy. So easy. Thank you to that right hemisphere consciousness that connected to the universe with all those atoms and molecules and big old rocks floating around, that wasn't meant for me. Something better is on its way. Or I'm going to go paddleboard. I'm perfectly good with that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If there's anything we need, it is connection, especially in the world we're living in today. And that is exactly why we created these conversation cards. Because on this show, when I sit here with my guests and have those deep, intimate conversations, this remarkable thing happens time and time again. We feel deeply connected to each other. At the end of every episode, the guest I'm interviewing leaves a question for the next guest, and we've turned them into these conversation cards. And we've added these twist cards to make your conversations even more interesting. And there are so many more twists along the way with the conversation cards. This is the brand new edition. And for the first time ever, I've added to the pack this gold card, which is an exclusive question from me. But I'm only putting the gold cards in the first run of conversation cards. So if you want them, join the waitlist now and you'll get early access when they get released. Head to the link in the description below.